Despite Trump's tariffs and other disruptive moves and an unresolved Ukraine-Russia conflict, how does India still remain in the Goldilocks zone?
Well, Ramesh, part of the reason is that India has, implemented very strong policies that have helped the economy to sustain itself. Each sector has been ably been, held afloat by domestic demand, and domestic demand has been pushed largely by government incentives. We've seen that through budget interventions, and through the year there have been reforms in the form of GST reforms, incentives given in the earlier budget of last year. Apart from that, the digitalization of the Indian economy has helped in improving the speed of transactions and has helped in a greater resilience in terms of the confidence that each sector holds in terms of trade. There has been a diversification of trade. Initially, we can see that the Indian economy has been held up because it has looked inward. We've seen that services has been a very strong driver of growth, 9.9%, growing nearly at 10%, and services largely is driven by the fact that digitalization has taken place. I mean, a lot of this has smoothened the improvement of services, and as a result of that, we are seeing that has had a spillover effect in terms of increasing consumption demand for the people who are involved in the services sector. That has helped sustain the Indian economy. And India, even though it has been producing for the domestic market, has also been, in a way, been able to see new markets for its exports. So that's how India has sort of remained in the Goldilocks zone.
Now, how do these latest estimates help the finance minister in terms of annual budget preps?
Indeed, Ramesh, what we can see clearly is that the finance minister will be happy with these figures, because she's going to be able to see where she can raise revenues. The tax to GDP ratio is an important component in understanding where revenues can be raised and what level of revenues is generated, both in terms of GST as well as in terms of corporate tax and income tax. We can see that growth in the economy implies that the government can mop up greater revenues. That would give the government sufficient cushion to think big in terms of its expenditure, and hence she can think big in terms of supporting the increase in investments in the economy, because the government is leading in that direction in terms of creating infrastructure and a multiplier effect. One of the factors why I didn't mention that in the last answer is why the Indian economy has sustained its growth is because gross capital formation, which is another word for investment, has been growing. It is coming in at 7.8%, which is a significant, it's growing at a significant pace, which implies that the money that is being put into the economy is stable enough to generate more growth and more further increase the virtuous cycle of investment.
And looking ahead, Mark, what kind of other challenges and opportunities are emerging on the horizon which India will need to navigate to either continue or even take its growth momentum in the 8% and plus zone?
So I would think that the economy is tied to the world economy, but the world economy, as we know, is currently in a situation which is can be described as a situation of flux. This kind of turbulence will continue, and India is obviously going to be affected by it. But India can't, only be propped up by the domestic market, because the domestic demand is huge. In fact, everyone is interested in India's domestic market, and that's why we are in a position to negotiate good trade deals with other countries, as we have been doing with FTAs, as we have seen in the recent past, and which will continue again in the coming year. But one of the concerns will be that this turbulence will continue, and we need to be worried about the external sector. And there would be opportunities obviously there, and we can see that this will all be looked at very carefully by the Finance Minister in her budget on the 1st of February. We can see the direction, how this will be gauged, the turbulence, because obviously everyone is tracking the world economy quite closely.
Indeed. All right, we'll leave it there for now. Mark, thank you. My colleague Mark Ling reporting there on the latest GDP numbers.